My name is Paul Sutherland. I'm about to be interviewed by Bobby Fazio. Fine, I want to go from body line to body line.
A cool little design in here. What is that?
Hidden hatch to keep it separated from the driver's compartment.
All right, here we are at the 2022 Pennsylvania Dutch Classic, brought to you by PC Richard & Son. This is a national open, end of the year, October, Maple Grove Raceway, and I'm checking out this really cool 1966 Chevy II station wagon, super stock I-automatic, driven by Paul Sutherland. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Excellent, man. Gorgeous car, by the way.
Thank you.
Paul, tell everybody where you come from.
Chicopee, Massachusetts, just outside of Springfield.
Springfield. Are you near New England Dragway?
It's about 2.5 hours north of us, and Lebanon Valley is about an hour west of us.
All right, closer to Lebanon.
Yes.
New York. All right, so this station wagon, 327 cubic inch. What's the advertised and rated horsepower on this?
375 is units per factor, and it's factored out to 307.
307, all right. So what's your minimum weight in super stock automatic?
3240 is minimum weight.
Okay, I thought the wagon might be a little heavier than that, but it's not. Sure does launch well, like it has a bunch of weight in the trunk. So how does the weight, is there more weight in the trunk of this car than on the front end?
It's about 51, 52 to the back versus 40, 49, 50 to the front, depending on which way it's
all right, so
the scale.
about even.
It's
then.
about even.
Okay, I'd take that. I don't get that in any of my Mustangs, that's for sure. They're nose-heavy cars. Now this engine here, who builds it?
Machine work is done by Automotive Machine, and it's assembled by my brother Greg Sutherland.
Greg Sutherland, who also has a very nice car. I think he's over here. There's Greg Sutherland's car. But today Paul's in the spotlight. Paul, what kind of carburetor comes on one of these?
You had a choice of a Quadrajet or a Holly, a small Holly, 585 CFM. This is the quick fuel equivalent.
Okay, so this is the quick fuel carburetor replacing the Holly then. Okay. Nice. Now you run the air cleaner base.
Yes.
Is that you see any results with that on the dyno or anything? More velocity possibly?
We're trying to straighten out the airflow so it doesn't have to make a 90-degree bend. If it's a nice smooth bend, it seems to make a better transition. We just started trying it. We previously ran that on a 283 car that actually liked it. So found a base that seems like it'll fit and work. We're gonna give it a shot.
All right. Now in super stock, you do have to run, factory block, factory heads. You're allowed any intake manifold. You're allowed any cam lift you want.
Correct.
Clearly, you have to run the factory carburetor. What kind of heads are these? What's the head casting that Chevy?
These are 461s from General Motors. It's a stock cast iron cylinder head.
All right, and then the headers look like they're custom made. Who built those?
Those are Pete Z, Apple Tree race cars. He built them.
Oh yeah, I remember Pete Z. He used to race a super stock car.
Yes, he did.
Okay, now let's take a look inside the car. Actually, before we get inside the car, we have to pay some homage to this beautiful paint job. Who painted this car?
I painted this car.
You painted it yourself?
Yes, sir.
Are you a body man?
No, I am not.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a correctional educator. I
My
teach in a
goodness.
medium security prison.
Do you educate the kids on how to paint cars?
No, I do not. I'm trying to get them their high school equivalency if possible.
Oh, that's cool. Very admirable. Now I'm getting close up here on this paint, and it looks like there is a cool little design in here. What is that?
It's actually a lace that you paint through. It's actually the fabric. You draw it tight across the surface and you paint through it.
Nice. How do you get it? What do you tape it onto the body with some painter's tape? How do you get it to stay put the whole time that you were painting that?
Now, the first part was tape off. In this case, it's squares. The original design wasn't going to work because of the body line. I wanted to go from body line to body line. Then you pull it tight and you hold it at the top, middle, and bottom if you can. I made sure I could pull it from front to back so the lace pattern stays true without 9 different patterns.
Wow. Now, a clear coat on top of this,
Yes,
right?
that's why you can't
So
feel
how many
anything.
coats and then clear coat?
This one has 2 brandy wine, and then there were 5 passes of clear, knowing I'd sand some back off to make it smooth.
Man, that is awesome looking. And it's hard to see from far away. When you're up close, you can really take notice to that. So Great job.
Thank you.
You paint anybody else's cars?
My brother's is 66. There's a 65 Chevelle. I've done 2 for Tim Stickles,
Oh, you did the...
Malibu Breeze and Malibu Blue.
Oh, okay.
There's a few others here.
All right. Let's take a look inside the car. What kind of transmission and converter do you run?
This one's a Turbo 350 and it's using an Ultimate converter.
Now, Ultimate is Lenny?
Is Lenny.
Lenny, okay. And then what size converter is this?
8-inch.
8-inch converter. And then the transmission?
It's one built by Mike-O-Matic and it's got a 252 first gear set.
Nice.
It's also clear neutral, so neutral's all the way to the front.
Yeah,
so
now
shift
that's an
backwards.
ongoing argument. I'm going to open up the back
Sure.
door here if you don't mind. I want to show everybody the trunk. But the transmission builders want you in neutral right after the run, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's the engine builders and the transmission builders kind of go back and forth on what they want you to do. I am one of the guilty parties that I let my stocker wind down in high gear all the way, and I guess I've been getting away with it for a couple years. But look at all the room in the trunk of this car. Do you switch classes?
I have
Is there weight boxes back there?
just one. This side.
Oh, look at that. What's under here? You got the fuel cell buried in the hidden hatch?
Hidden hatch to keep it separated from the driver's compartment, because that's where you're supposed to have it.
Right, yeah,
Theoretically.
so
Isolation.
anything,
And
you know,
then-
like a hatchback like mine, a car like this has to be, you know, got to protect the driver. So I like that. Mark Markel put that in there and
It was
design that?
his idea. My brother helped design it.
Cool.
Weight box, it really doesn't have anything in it, which offsets the battery, which is hidden where the spare tire would traditionally go.
All right, so the battery, would you have a 16-volt battery buried in there somewhere?
Just 12-volt red top, Optima.
All right, just one battery then.
That's it.
Because in super stock, we don't need alternators, so a lot of
No.
racers go to the 16-volt, but you're choosing that 12-volt Optima red top, huh?
This one's been pushed, it'll hold almost 14 volts.
Running a big radial here. What size is this bad boy?
31.5 by 12.5.
Yep, 31.25 and 12.2 radial. So that's a pretty big tire. What kind of rear gear ratio do you run?
This year it's 5/88.
Is this a Ford 9-inch rear or?
12-volt posi.
Wow, okay.
That was Marco's preferred treatment for this one.
12-volt posi, wow. Hey, it seems to be working fine. You never break anything in the ring of pinion?
We took the splines off one axle once. It
Right.
wasn't a pleasant ride.
Now the car goes up pretty high. Have you, you know,
We've smacked the oil pan a few times.
I think you had it tightened down a little bit today.
Today I tightened it up a little bit because you knew how much they were going to treat the track. Don't want to unload the tires and give it away for free. So tie it down a little bit.
And you had a tight one there at the finish
other
line, it looked like, in the first round today.
Work the brake pedal, just not enough.
Right, now you were dialed 1041, you went 1040 with a 4, I believe. Is that your fastest time all weekend?
Yes,
It was?
it was.
All right, and you were, you know, ripping the throttle down there
Yes.
too. So the air is pretty killer today.
I would say it's a lot better today than it was yesterday.
Right, what kind of RPM are you turning with this thing?
Crosses the finish line about 86, 8,700 RPM in that range.
And what do you launch it at?
34.
34 launch, that's a pretty low launch. It definitely transfers weight. What do you shift it at?
Usually close to 6 for first shift, but it's a short shift. It's 252 first gear.
Right.
It's quick. Second gear is a little more.
Yeah, now what kind of mile an hour did you run this weekend?
Today was the slowest, but it was 124, but trying to slow it down, usually it's about 128.
Yeah, so it's making some power down there. All right, now what are your plans? Is the year finished for you?
This is it for this year.
So heading back to Massachusetts and what, servicing the car for next year? You got
Yes.
any changes you want to make?
Put the other motor back in.
Uh-oh. Yeah? Was it faster?
It's faster.
Okay.
It lost the head gasket early in the season, and trying to find parts to put it back together was a bit of a pain. It scored the block, scored the cylinder head, so had to fix it.
Yeah, no, we're a lot of people in the same boat, and a lot of parts on back order
Yes.
right now. So that's changing everybody's strategies. You're trying to stretch things longer. You're trying to piece things together. It's just making it difficult, challenging, and we all have to adapt and adjust.
Engine was together a week ago, and we decided not gonna do that. We spent most of the season on this motor, so I was like, yeah, I want to change at the very end, knowing nothing.
Yeah, that makes it difficult. But, you know, you don't want to take a long trip and
Yeah.
only to have a very expensive test session.
Yes, which it could have been.
I mean, if it went 10-20, you would have been
That'd been
okay
awesome.
with that. Yeah. All right. Well, good luck to you next season.
Thank you,
And
sir.
we look forward to seeing this wagon out. We're going to give everybody one more shot of that beautiful paint. And we hope to see this car out in 2023, Epping, New Hampshire, Lebanon Valley, Maple Grove Raceway. All right. Take care. Paul, have a good one.